This video will introduce you to adding items to your Zotero library. Before you can add items to your library, you must first download and install Zotero on your computer. And there's a brief video that shows you how to do that if you have not done that yet. And you have to open Zotero on your computer. So let's get started by looking at how to add items from the library's main search and databases. I'm going to go to the library website at library.montevallo.edu. In the yellow search box, I'm going to search for United States presidential elections, but you can search for the topic of your choice. I have lots of results, which I can narrow down by using these limiters at the top of the screen.
So I'm going to click on this source type limiter and I'm going to limit by ebooks and books and click apply. I'm interested in this book, so I'm going to click on the title.
When I do this, I can see that my Zotero icon has changed to a book. This means that Zotero has recognized that this is book information that I'm looking at, and all I have to do is click on this icon. Now I can go back to my Zotero library and see that it is here. I can see the title and PDF attachment right here in the middle panel. Over here on the right, you can see a panel with lots of bibliographic information about the book, including the title, the author, the publisher, the date. If you click on any of those areas here, you can notice that it's editable. Sometimes this information may not be 100% correct. Maybe an author is left off, so you could just add the author here by clicking on that, or there might be some information omitted. Just know that you can click any of these fields and edit that information. This shouldn't happen a lot, but it's something to be aware of.
Now let's go back to our results page. I'm going to change my source type from ebooks and books to academic journals, and that's because I'm really looking for articles this time. If I'm looking for scholarly articles, I might click the peer-reviewed button. Now I can scroll through these results. I'm interested in this article, so I can click that. And if you notice up in the browser bar, my Zotero icon has now changed to what looks like a piece of paper. That means it recognizes this as an article. I can click that and it will send that article to my Zotero library. We can check that here. Here's my library in Zotero, here's the article.
One more trick I would like to show on a library search is the ability to select multiple results right from the search results page.
So here we are back on our results page. If you notice up in the browser bar, you can see that Zotero now looks like a folder. You click on that, and what this does, it brings up all of the articles that are on that results page. So it could save you a little time if you know you're interested in more than one article. From here, you can select those.
I'm going to select this and this article and say OK.
Now, when I go back to my library, those two articles are showing up.
In addition to the main search, Zotero also works well with many of our databases. Back on the library homepage, in the yellow search box, find the button that says Databases. Click it. This will take you to an A to Z listing of our databases.
One of our more popular databases is Academic Search Premier. Again, I'm searching for presidential elections in the United States here, so I'm going to click search. As you can see up in my bar, you can see that we have that same folder available where I can select the article I'm interested in. I'm interested in this first article. I'm going to say OK, and there's that article in my Zotero library now. I can also click on a particular article, so if I'm interested in this one, I can click on it, and you can see now that that icon has changed again to the article. I would click on it and save it to my library. Let's take a look at another database. This is Project Views. As you can see in that browser bar, I have the option to add multiple articles straight from this list. or I can click on the title.
Next, we'll look at adding items from Google Scholar and PubMed.
Zotero also works well with Google Scholar. As you can see here, straight from the search page, I can add articles I'm interested in, or I can click one of these links and go to that article and click the Save Article icon up here. You can also use this with PubMed. Again, I see that folder. I can choose straight from that page, or I could go and select a title that I'm interested in, like this one, Do Elections Make You Sick? You can see that that icon changed to article. I click on it and it's added that to.
You can also add items from other online sources like news, websites, and more.
The library subscribes to New York Times, so if you have your free access set up, you can go to New York Times online and save articles from there. I'm interested in this New York Times article. I can see that icon is changed to what looks like a newspaper. I click on that and it's going to save that to my library. This also works with other news sites like NPR. I'm going to do a search for elections on Pew Research Center, which will be treated like a website. So we'll go here to U.S. Elections and Voters. I'm going to choose this article, look for that Zotero icon that's now changed to look like a website. You click on that.
Further, you can add items using the Zotero library menu. Now that you know how to add items to your Zotero library using the browser icon, I did want to show you other ways to add sources.
The first icon in the menu bar looks like a circle with a plus. You click on that and this will allow you to manually add items. This might be useful if you already have a book or a printed out article and you don't want to go look that information up, or you can click more and select a template for entering that information for artworks, video recordings, letters, and more.
Next to the green button is a wand icon. This will allow you to add items by identifying number. That could be an ISBN or a DOI or a PubMed ID.
So I'm going to put in a PubMed ID, and that article has just been added. The next icon looks like a sticky note. When you click on it, it says that you can add a standalone note or add a child note.
I'm going to add a child note, and what that means is it will add a note to a particular source.
So let's say I'm going to add a note that says this article relates to election and stress. You can see that note added here. The important thing is that you can use this search field up here to search across your notes and your articles. So let's say you had tons of articles and you can't remember which one related to stress, but you remember one did, and you think you put a note about that. You can type in stress and it's going to bring that up for you.
The last icon here is a paperclip, which is where you can add an attachment. If you have an article where the PDF didn't download, or if you had to request it through interlibrary loan, so you didn't have that article when you initially entered it into your library, you can always go back and attach that article later. Finally, you can add PDFs with drag and drop. You may have already saved some articles as PDFs. They might be on your device, they might be on a desktop of your computer. You can drag and drop PDFs directly into your library. So I wanted to demonstrate that.
Here's an article I'd like to add. I drop it into this pane and it shows up. In this case, the article is there, so you may have to go in and manually add that information in, but sometimes when you drop them in, it actually will include that information, so just be aware that you may need to take that extra step with PDFs. So those are the different ways you can add to your Zotero library.